So, so many students have this dream, right? Studying abroad, maybe in the UK, getting that world-class education, soaking up a new culture. But for a lot of people, especially thinking about the UK, there's this huge barrier, the cost. It just feels, well, completely out of reach financially sometimes. Today, though, we're not just going to look at that barrier. We're aiming to sort of smash right through it. Our mission here in this deep dive is really to give you, our listener, a genuine shortcut, a way to understand this incredibly rich landscape of UK scholarships that are actually designed specifically for Pakistani students. We've pulled together insights from a really comprehensive guide, trying to cut through all the noise, highlight the key opportunities and give you clear, actionable steps so you can really maximize your chances.
Exactly. And look, this isn't just going to be a list of scholarship names and pound signs. What's really crucial about the source material we're digging into is its depth. It offers insights into all sorts of scholarship types. You've got government-backed programs, prestigious university awards, even company-funded schemes now. It's basically designed to give you a clear map, showing not just what's out there, but also how these different resources actually work.
Spot on. Prepping for this, one thing that genuinely surprised me, and our source makes this really clear, is just the sheer number. And the generosity, actually, of some of these programs. It might genuinely make you rethink what's possible for your own international education journey.
And that's exactly the aim. Beyond just listing scholarships, this deep dive, we hope, will help you understand the strategy behind applying. We want to help you connect the dots, between your own aspirations and these, frankly, incredible opportunities.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then. We should probably kick things off with a really major player, a fantastic gateway to UK study, the Great Scholarships. These come out of a powerful partnership between the British Council and the UK government. And they offer a pretty significant £10,000 tuition award.
Yeah, and what's particularly, let's say, strategic about the Great Scholarships is just how accessible they are. They're for one-year postgraduate taught courses, right? And for the 2025-26 academic year, they're available across more than 70 UK universities. That's huge. Our source highlights that there are actually over 200 scholarships offered in total. That covers England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So that wide university network gives you incredibly diverse academic choices. It makes it a really broad entry point for a lot of students.
That breadth is amazing, isn't it? Our guide even points out specific numbers for Pakistani applicants, like Durham's offering 2 awards, I think, and Manchester has 5. And the application process itself seems pretty straightforward. You choose an eligible course, like an MSc or MA, at one of the participating unis. You apply for admission there first, and then you specifically opt in for the Great Scholarship. The real key, though, as our source stresses, is submitting a really compelling personal statement, one that shows off not just your academic side, but also, importantly, your leadership abilities.
Absolutely. And, on that personal statement point, our guide suggests that for it to be truly compelling, it's maybe less about just, listing achievements and more about showing the journey. How have your experiences actually shaped you? How have they prepared you for leadership? Sometimes just a short, impactful story can say so much more.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so those are the big government-backed ones. But beyond those, some of the most tailored opportunities actually come straight from the universities themselves. What's kind of unique about these institutional awards?
Well, this is where your own research really, really pays off. These university-specific awards, they often reflect what that particular institution cares about, their priorities. And sometimes, honestly, they can be a bit less competitive than the big global scholarships if you happen to meet their quite specific niche criteria. So it really brings up an important question for you, the applicant. How well do you actually research the universities themselves, beyond just the course title? Do you get what they're focused on?
That's such a crucial point. Let's maybe zoom in on a couple of examples here just to show the variety. Like the University of Manchester's Global Future Scholarship. That offers a really significant amount. £24,000 for undergrad or £8,000 for postgrad. And our source suggests that with this one, they're really interested in your motivation. Why the UK specifically? And crucially, how do you plan to use that knowledge back home in South Asia? It's not just about academic fit.
Right, it's broader. And then you can contrast that with something like the University of Sussex Pakistan Master's Scholarship 2025. That one's a £4,000 fee reduction specifically for eligible Pakistani postgrad students. So maybe smaller in value, but it often looks for a strong academic record within a very specific set of courses.
Yeah.
Highly targeted.
Yeah, very targeted. And if you're thinking about Queen's University Belfast, their Pakistan scholarship offers a £1,500 tuition discount. That's for people who get unconditional offers for both undergrad and postgrad courses. And maybe we should clarify unconditional offers.
Good point. Yeah, unconditional basically means you've already met all the academic requirements. Your place is secured, academically speaking. So if you've got that, you're in a really strong position for that particular Belfast scholarship.
Makes sense. We also saw the University of Bristol's Think Big scholarships. These have quite a range, actually anywhere from £6,500 up to £26,000 for both UG and PG students. But quick note on those, the deadlines for 2025 entry have just recently closed, which, well, it just hammers home that point about planning early, doesn't it? Something we definitely need to keep stressing.
Oh, absolutely. Planning is everything. Okay, so now let's maybe move up a level to the pinnacle, you could say. The prestigious UK scholarships.
Yeah.
These really are the creme de la creme. They're incredibly competitive, often fully funded, and they're typically looking for truly exceptional candidates who show more than just, great grades.
And when we say fully funded, what does that usually mean?
Well, typically it means covering your tuition fees, your living costs like accommodation and food, and sometimes even your travel to and from the UK. It can be a complete package.
Wow. Okay. So examples like Chevening scholarships.
Exactly. Chevening is a big one. Fully funded one-year master's programs, and they're really designed for potential global leaders. Our guide points out something interesting here. While leadership experience is key, what many applicants seem to miss is that Chevening is often looking for future impact. It's not just about what you've done, it's about how you articulate the change you will make with that UK degree.
That future focus is interesting.
It is, and it's actually a common thread among these top-tier scholarships. You see it with the Rhodes scholarships for Oxford University, too. Full funding for postgrad study there. Applications for Pakistan are open for 2026 entry, by the way. Similarly, the Gates Cambridge Scholarship covers fees and living costs for graduate study at Cambridge. Hugely competitive, open to all countries, including Pakistan. Again, it's not just about your academic transcript, it's about your vision, your potential to contribute something significant to the world.
Right, is that bigger picture. And building on that, there's the Weidenfeld Hoffman Trust at Oxford. That provides, I think, over 35 full scholarships for master's students, and it specifically targets emerging leaders from, emerging countries. Then there's the Clarendon Fund at Oxford. That's another key one. It's described as automatic excellence-based full funding for graduate students, purely on academic merit and potential.
Yes, purely merit-based for Clarendon.
And for undergrads, if you've got exceptional leadership potential and you're from Asia, the Jardine Scholarship for Oxford or Cambridge is a full ride. But, fair warning, our source says it is highly competitive.
Extremely. And one more, maybe slightly different one, is the Sidney Perry Foundation. They offer grants, not always full funding, but grants towards living expenses or fees. And that's for both undergrads and postgrads, including overseas students. So another avenue to look into.
Okay, so what really stands out across all of these prestigious ones?
Yeah.
It's not just about being tough at your class, is it?
Not at all. It's about demonstrating leadership, commitment, having a clear vision for making an impact. It really connects to this bigger idea of nurturing future global leaders, people who can genuinely drive change.
Definitely. Okay, so we've covered government, university-specific, and these major prestigious awards. But let's explore some maybe lesser-known routes. Still really valuable, though. We're talking EU and company-funded awards. These can really broaden your perspective on what's actually out there.
Yeah, and the unique value proposition here, especially with the company scholarships, is pretty significant because often they go beyond just the money. They might offer practical work experience, mentorship from people in the industry, invaluable networking. It really raises an important question for you, the listener. What kind of career path are you actually picturing for yourself? Because some of these scholarships tie directly into specific industries or career tracks.
That's a great point. Practical experience plus funding, that's a powerful combo. So on the EU side, you mentioned Erasmus Mundus.
Right. Erasmus Mundus joint master's degrees. These are EU-funded programs, often involving study at multiple European universities, potentially including a UK one, and they offer full scholarships that typically cover tuition, living costs, and travel. Really fantastic opportunities if your subject fits.
And then there's this emerging trend you mentioned, UK company scholarships.
Yes, our source highlights this. You're seeing more corporate schemes popping up. Think big names, maybe like Amazon or Nationwide, offering not just tuition support, but often mentorship programs, maybe guaranteed internships alongside your studies. That kind of practical integration is a huge bonus, a real game changer for your CV.
Definitely. Okay, so we've laid out a whole landscape of opportunities now. Government, uni, prestigious EU, company. It's a lot. But just knowing about them is only half the battle, right? Actually
Ah.
getting one, that's where strategy really comes in. Let's dig into how to maximize your chances, what our source calls maximizing your success.
Yeah, and if we kind of look at the overarching strategy here, it's pretty clear from the source that a tailored, really strategic approach is going to beat a scattergun one every single time. It's all about presenting your unique story effectively and making sure it aligns with what each specific scholarship program is actually looking for, what they value.
Right. So first step seems to be identify your funding match. Our guide really emphasizes figuring out the difference between, say, the government-backed options like Great or Chevening versus the university-specific ones like Sussex, Bristol, or Manchester, and then those UK-wide prestigious ones like Rhodes or the Oxbridge funds. Finding the best fit for your specific profile, your grades, your experience, your goals, that's got to be step one.
Absolutely crucial. Second point, and we've touched on this, but it bears repeating, apply early. So many of these deadlines are surprisingly early. Our source mentioned many falling between February and June 2025 for the following academic year. So starting your prep work now is just essential. You can't wait.
Cannot stress that enough. Okay, third point, and this is where you really make yourself stand out. Differentiate your application. Our source talks about emphasizing not just your academic excellence, that's almost a given for many of these, but also showing your leadership, your community impact, and having really clear career goals. And for specific scholarships like Rhodes, Gates, Weidenfeld, the guide highlights needing strong leadership narratives. They want to see your potential for impact. How have you already started making a difference, even in small ways? And how will this UK education amplify that? You need to tell that story.
Exactly. Tell the story. And the final tip here, which is really practical and important, remember to look beyond just the tuition fees. Some scholarships, like Erasmus Mundus we mentioned, or those corporate awards, they often include stipends for living costs, help with accommodation, even travel funding. That can be a massive factor in your overall experience and just making it financially viable.
Total game changer.
Yeah. And our guide also mentions things like support services that might be available maybe through advisors or organizations like help with shortlisting universities, application reviews, shaping that scholarship strategy, interview practice, even visa assistance later on. Leveraging any support like that can give you a really significant edge.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Ultimately, though, knowledge is only really valuable when you apply it, right? So these specific strategic steps, they're designed to help turn your potential into an actual reality, to help you navigate what is, let's be honest, a competitive application process.
Right. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? It means taking your next steps with a clear plan, a roadmap for action. Here's what our source suggests you can do, like right away. First, definitely visit the Study UK portal that's run by the British Council and start shortlisting those great scholarships relevant to your field.
Good first step.
Second, start exploring individual university websites for those South Asia-specific awards we mentioned. Manchester, Sussex, Belfast, those are just a few examples. Dig around.
Yeah, dig deep on those unisites.
Third, make sure you register for application updates for things like Chevening and Rhodes. Get on their mailing list so you don't miss crucial deadline announcements.
Essential. Don't miss those dates.
Fourth, if you're aiming high, like Oxford or Cambridge, then you need to meticulously review the specific criteria for Clarendon, Gates, Weidenfeld, Jardine. Understand exactly what they want.
Know your target.
And finally, assess your eligibility for those Erasmus Mundus programs. Check out the different consortia and also look into those emerging corporate funding routes. Keep your options open.
So many avenues to explore, really.
Definitely. Okay, so let's try and recap and maybe give you that bottom line from our source material again. It says, there's never been a stronger range of scholarship routes to study in the UK, from £4K tuition reductions to fully funded postgraduate awards. The key takeaways seem crystal clear. Start your prep and apply early, and consistently work on building and articulating a really strong leadership narrative throughout your applications. This deep dive, we really aim to give you a comprehensive shortcut, a map, to understanding this incredible landscape of opportunities.
Hopefully it's been useful.
So for you, our listener, what this really shows is that studying abroad, studying in the UK, it isn't just some distant, impossible dream. It's actually a tangible goal. There are multiple pathways laid out. The real question now isn't really if you can find a scholarship. It's more like, how can your unique story, your experiences, your aspirations align perfectly with one of these incredible opportunities? What kind of impact do you want to make with your UK education? That's something to really think about.